Okay, Stacy,
Yes.
what made you want to start writing books?
Well, I've been obsessed with reading since forever, and I always wanted to write books. And the timing was never right. I had a full-time job, or I was in college and I was busy reading other people's books. And then I had an opportunity when I moved to this area of Ohio with my husband to leave my job. And I decided that if I was going to leave my job and move to this new town where I didn't know anybody, it was time to try something that meant a lot to me. So I started writing. So that's kind of how that went.
And then, Sarah, question, was it scary having children?
It was scary having kids, but it wasn't scary because I couldn't see. It was scary because I wanted to be a good mom. And I, just like any other person who has a kid, you have to learn. And you have to, it can be scary sometimes, but it was never scary because I couldn't see. It was scary because I love my babies so much and I wanted them, and I want them to have a beautiful life. So, but no, I'm not usually scared to be a mom.
Were you able to change them, bathe them,
Yep.
all that on
Change
your own?
them, bathe them, feed them. The only thing that was hard for me, and this is not hard for every blind person, but measuring out medication, like the liquid, in the little syringe when they're babies, that was hard for me. But if I needed to do it, we would pre-measure the meds and put the syringe upside down in a cup so that it wouldn't leak out, and then I could give it to them. So that was the only thing I think that was really challenging. But I have a lot of friends whose both parents are blind, and they figure out ways to do stuff like that. I'm very privileged that I have a sighted support system that can help me with some of that stuff. But always changed my babies myself. Been peed in the face. Babies, they pee on you, so both of them got me in the face at least once. But that happens to sighted parents too. And my kids are really easy kids, so I'm very lucky.
And then, so you have your guide dogs.
Mm-hmm.
And how long does a guide dog usually work for? How many years-ish?
It depends on the dog. It depends on the person's lifestyle. Depends on how healthy the dog is as they age. My dog is almost 9 years old, and I've had her for 7 years. And when a new match has been identified, then Daniela will retire. And I'd say the average guide dog works about, it used to be 8 to 10 years. I feel like it's more 6 to 8, 6 to 9,
5 to 7.
5 to 7. It's just the world now is so busy and intense, and it can be hard on some dogs, on more gentle dogs. So I'm happy I got 7 years with this one.
How many dogs have you had?
Dina, Kaylee. I have had 8. Let's see. Dina, Kaylee. A couple of them didn't work long careers. Wasn't anyone's fault. One of mine actually, very unfortunately, got cancer and passed away when he was only 4. Another one retired for health reasons, and a couple of them retired for different behavioral reasons. Sometimes a guide dog comes home and being a guide dog full time and not just going through training is a little bit too much for them for different reasons. But most of my dogs have worked several years. This Daniela is my 5th.
And then what happens to the dog once they retire from service?
In the past, our parents adopted our dogs because either we were college or grad students, or we were working full time. And it's hard on the dogs when they're used to being with us to be left at home for so many hours, But this time now that I'm working from home and my husband works, has his own private practice, either we're going to keep her in her retirement and she'll go to work with him and be his law partner when he's at work. So that'll be great for us this time. My last dog, who retired after a long career, was best friends with both my kids, and they probably would have kicked me out of my home if I had not kept Tyler, my dog. So he lived with us, and Polaris, when he retires, will either live with us or with my parents. He's very attached to me, and probably retiring is going to be difficult for him when it comes time. So I have to kind of figure out what's going to be best for him. I would like to keep him, but I don't know if it's going to be feasible. I think he'll have a hard time seeing me leave with another dog.
So
Some dogs don't care. I mean, they're they're ready to be done. Other dogs, you have to
really make the choice for
Yeah.
them.
Have you always had labs?
Yes.
Yeah, we don't request necessarily to have labs, but they're the breed that's used the most, and that's just what we've both gotten.
Yeah, I'd say they're the most successful breed just because of their personality type.
Do they ever get to just run and play
Oh yes.
and be silly and
Yes, this dog, my current guy, doesn't love to play unless she's flirting with Mrs. Phillips' husband.
which is true.
Just now, but she, the way that I get her to get all hyper, I found out by accident that if I sing like a Broadway diva, which I'm very bad at, she loses her mind. She jumps and twirls and runs, and she loves singing. It's like her favorite thing.
She
That's how I
likes
get her to
singing,
play.
and she likes bad opera.
Yeah, bad opera singing. So that's singing.
Polaris doesn't like to play with people very much. He would rather play with another dog. So when he's home, I have a pet dog, and they play. But most of the time, even when he's not in harness and on a leash, he's usually at my feet like he is now, because he just really likes to be where I am.
Yeah, because we've had our 2 dogs in the same room around them, and neither one of them has really
No?
moved a muscle, and just sort of do a good job of ignoring them.
And
Our
your
dogs
4
are doing
dogs
great
are being
too.
good.
Yep.
Yeah.